I thought I would start with a little view of the terrarium and frog, which symbolically represent purification, that I painted when I lived in England with my bonus kids while I was there. And then I will say that I was writing the word intruder this morning in relation to the vision I have to have a community of people who know how to stand and protect what is ours, property, proper to us, who know how to claim our rights and then stand on those claims and take names against intruders who would try to impose their will onto us. And I saw the connection between intruder and the man that so many are blaming for the state that we're in, given he is at the helm of the pirate ship of a Unidroit de facto corporate enterprise that has us as the prize, inviting them to enter with proclaimed income that invites the entities into the identities we take on, and then become prey to that which the one who has so many cords energetically attaching to him because of the vehement energy that is being sent to the one being blamed for these unlawful impositions. And I just want to say that Trudeau and intruder is connected in some way, maybe. And then also say that ultimately there are energetic cords that are created whenever we have a strong emotion attached or connected to anyone. And in the soul realignment methodology that I am trained in multiple versions of, though haven't used for quite some time because it's someone else's system and it always felt more appropriate to create my own, though that has been a refinement process, that I've veered away from offering to cut those cords in the way that I was taught in the system, and instead to help people see the need to do it vibrationally within ourselves. Now, that being said, it's important to see that one of the things Carolyn Miss had said years ago, I hadn't connected to this concept because she hadn't until I then did, is the fact that betrayal is one of the greatest gifts a soul can give us, because of the fact none of us want to be hated by another. And when we are, what it actually does is it opens soul ties and creates opportunities to get bound together, which the soul realignment training that I received back in 2013 taught me about. Curses, vows, contracts, bindings, spells, all of those serve as attachment mechanisms that invite entities in with the identity we then take on because of the emotion that attaches to the story. Isaiah 3:3, and the energy starts to change because this is such a huge concept. I want you to know that when we create these opportunities for entities to enter into our field, what we are actually doing is creating the possibility of soul ties in future incarnations, whether that be our soul tied to theirs and unable to incarnate, or that we do both incarnate and then have this unresolved, unknown for the source of it cause that we have to dispel then because we didn't do it when it was created, which is now. So, I am trained in a modality to be able to clear the records, but what I believe is more powerful, now that I have actually learned how to use lawful notice, to put people on notice, and then to actually stand on claims by taking names and then actually moving through not just the justice courts that serve just ice oftentimes, but to actually see the need to see the meant in judgment, the mental component of it that creates stories that have emotions attached to it that create openings for our souls to then get bound to others, that can cause havoc in future incarnations, or this one too. So, the intruder, which I think is a great way to simply say the man acting as the captain of the pirate ship that we have been inviting into our identities, which is the sin of syntax. Tax being the false illusion of obligation that we have voluntarily consented to because we didn't know what else to do. New. It is time for us to see that anyone that might try to say Laura J. has led them astray will be deemed a vexatious litigant if using paperwork that I could share based on what I have been doing and yet haven't, because I do not wish to cause a vex in anyone's life, which is what the hex of all of the insanity around COVID has been, for it is the certificate of vex, identity death, that led to the death of what we knew before it was true, that everything changed when we consented to the insanity that we have been subject to for these past few years. It is time to see that we need no longer hate, blame, and energetically onto those who are in positions of power that have been accruing soul ties they didn't understand. In the Bible, which I don't subscribe to, however, it is a codex for the domain that the grantor of domain has claimed and can lead you to fame within if you adhere to what is no longer here because you've added to it an element of time. So, there, which is the cross we bear when we step out of here in order to see the I am that I am energetically is no longer where I was in the moment, but instead goes out because I allowed the cause to be something outside of me. You see, it is time to get back to being in charge of our energy instead of trying to control others or be controlled by the troll of the con that is all for your consciousness and your conscience, which is what you have been entrusted with by your soul. That is the science that cannot have a line through the dollar sign that becomes what the S of the snake, serpent, or something else would be. So, if you have a lot of anger toward the intruder that is claiming power over the realms that we are living within, please know that is how your soul will be devoured and attached to that which you hate. Is it worth it? Only you can decide. But what I can do is help you not hide from those denials you didn't even notice I am lying to myself about when we are in denial. So, it's time to get out of denial and instead to file BS that has been lodged in the heart, the sanctum sanctorum, the heart of hearts, that the Greeks referred to as the subconscious mind. It is time to let that rise so that we no longer deny the truth that love and acceptance are how we overcome denial, and sometimes we can't do it single file on our own, which is why I'm here to help. So if you want to do some deep diving and are willing to do the inner work, then welcome yourself to the Peaceful Inner Warriors United Assembly on Telegram. I would love for you to come in the fold, in the mix, and then take a sip of what is being offered. And if you wish to let it into your system, do. And if you don't, that's okay too. I'm not attached, But what I want is to make sure you don't get attached to intruders after you're here.